Hey everybody, it's Ryan here from Android Coliseum doing my review on the Nexus 9 tablet. This is something new for Nexus at least to be in, this 4.3 factor. It's kind of interesting. A lot of people detracting from it saying, well, it's just an iPhone or iPad competitor, but really, is it? Let's dive in. So in typical HTC fashion, we have the power buttons on the side of the same side, which makes doing the screenshot a little bit trickier. I like doing on both sides, but that's just me. And they don't really stand out as much, so it's kind of hard to feel them sometimes. But thankfully, we have Tap Awake in there. Anyways, what else we have? So the back of it is kind of that rubbery back. It does have a lot of grease. I don't know if you can see my hands, and I haven't washed my hands, but even before this, still fairly bit greasy. We have a camera back up here, which is in the far right corner, or left corner, depending on which way you're looking at it. Now, I don't know if you can see, but it's kind of, it protrudes just ever so slightly over the lip of it, so that's kind of weird. It still fits flush and doesn't interfere, doesn't rest on that camera lens, but just whatever. We also have true stereo speakers, the boom sound. We'll get more into boom sound later on, what that really means and does for us. Turning it on, we see that's the 9-inch screen, 8.9-inch screen. This is running at 2048 by 1536, so slightly better than a Quad HD. Almost a Quad HD, I guess you could say, in that kind of standard. It's running a Tegra K1 processor. That means it's 64-bit, so it's really future-ready for all the extra bits. What else? This is a 16 gig. You can pay for $430, otherwise it's $530 for a 32 gig version. We have 2 gigs of RAM inside. The camera back there, I said, is an 8 megapixel. This front one here is a 1.6, and it is dead center, so it makes it a little bit easier to do, when you're holding and doing Skype or whatever it might be. So what else can we talk about? I mean, really, it's a Nexus. I mean, the only thing that really makes the Nexus kind of stand out is the fact that it's true stock Android. Oh, come on. Must have been touching it or something. Anyways, so with stock Android, new 5.0 Lollipop, you've seen probably a lot of it out there. So we have our new, drop-down menus and stuff like that. So that's kind of cool. I'm used to turning the device on and then swiping any way I want. Well, I just brought up the camera. So it's just the little things you got to get used to. It's slightly different. It's not bad. It's just slightly different than what you've probably been used to. Bring that in. Go down, and you can go to your settings there. Anyways, so that's Lollipop. I don't want to go into Lollipop because essentially there's so much that's new, and other articles run into that as well. So, but just do know that Lollipop is running very, very smooth, very neat animations. When we bring up all that stuff, it's just fluid no matter what you want to do with it. So, very nice. I'm losing my screen here. Okay, so other things, let's take a look at. So speakers, talked about that. Absolutely phenomenal speakers. If listening at normal volumes, it's not that impressive. It's about standard quality, but where it really shines is getting louder and louder. Trying to bring up thanks, where am I? Bring up Netflix. It can get really, really, really loud. So let's continue watching Portlandia. So the volume can get loud. It's a little bass heavier than I'm used to, but again, imagine I might get used to that. But it really has a nice echo to it when you speak, so it doesn't muffle the sound. So normal speakers, just fine. But it's just whenever you really crank it up, you really notice the quality behind it. Alright, speaking of what I got on the screen here, this is a 16:9 TV show on a 4:3 screen. You can see how much it seems to be wasted space on it. And that's, for me, the big killer. I really can't stand watching video or any pictures on here and miss out on that stuff. Although we've talked about people shooting video now mostly in 16:9 or I don't know. It messes with my mind and I watch it in 4:3. What else we got to show off here? Tap Awake I talked about. The 4:3 factor is my biggest complaint about this. I don't know if the 4:3 factor is causing it to have some issues. Some games I've downloaded, I don't know whether it's Humble Bundle or whatever, tend to have an issue. Some games are no problem. They'll run. They'll fill the screen just as they should. Because, most Android games and most Android developers are probably doing this just right. I don't know if some of them are just either having an issue with 64-bit, having an issue with art, or having an issue with the 4.3 screen. Just sometimes don't run. But you can see running this game here runs very, 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 very smoothly. Just to give you a quick example, you can see my terrible video gaming skills. So no problem running most games you're going to run on, and I haven't noticed any lag on any system software or any of the other games I've put onto it. So speaking of games, I first put it through a pretty hefty, intensive video game session, and you'll do notice that even that little bit, it started to warm up right around where the camera is. And I notice sometimes with moderate usage, the camera can get slightly warm, so must be some sort of heating issue back there. Nothing concerning, but it's just something I notice. But the other thing I want to talk about with the gaming was the fact that this battery lasts. It's been in since probably, several days now that I haven't, since I last charged it up. I haven't used it much in the last couple of days, but when I first did, I ran it down pretty heavily, running a lot of games, and after that, I turn it on now and again, play a little game here and there, watch a little video. You can see little dips here or there, but otherwise, it still even has another day left, and it's down to 19%. This is a really huge battery, 6,700 milliamp hours. So yeah. My other issue I notice is that if you look at the very top, I don't know if you can just barely see, it's got some light bleed at the very top. Not so much anywhere else, and I do notice that sometimes when I have it tilted, that's all I see. But other than that, this is a stutter-free beast of a device that'll last a long time, and it runs Nexus. So they're going to get your updates all the time on it. I'll have more up on the blog, so I hope you guys can follow me there, and I'll answer any questions. Thanks.